let's start. We're going to take up the case of the pumic. Okay. Now, this is what's difficult about this. You just got to get past the shach levitaria and past the machlokas rishonim and figure out what exactly we need to define. So the difficulty is factually dealing with the back and forth in the Gemara. And just to get it out, I understand the initial frustration of having a Gemara change from divrei ha'oser to divrei ha'kol. I get it. But of course, if the Gemara is going to do that, there must be some idea the Gemara is trying to express. So we have to have certain facts in order before entering into the sugya. Fact number one: what's a pumic? It's a candelabra, but it's part of the species of or genus of metal menorahs. And the key point is they last all of Shabbos. Remember that.
What do you mean they last? Meaning they?
I light it Friday night, and what's going to happen to the pumic?
It will not go out until the end of Shabbat.
Right.
Why didn't you tell us that?
I did not know that.
Keeping all our positions in mind. Okay, Rav Yehuda initially holds what? Muktzeh,
Machmas Mius.
Machmas, Mias, right?
It's all the same thing as Misa.
Rav Meir holds what?
What's Machmas?
Mukmas, Machmas, Isser. Machmas, okay? And what does Rav Shimon hold? Rav Shimon holds no Machmas.
No Machmas.
Okay? Is that clear? Does everyone understand that? Okay?
Yeah.
The initial assumption of the Gemara was Rav Yehuda was his own position who holds Muktzeh Machmas Mias. Rav Meir holds Muktzeh Machmas Isser, independently of Rav Yehuda, and Rav Shimon holds no Machmas. 1 second. Let's plug in some practical nafkaminas before we take up the Gemara. Just to make sure everyone understands. What? So now, okay. Is this clear? So let's just give some examples, okay? If I have, I'll throw an example. If I have an old candle that I did not light before Shabbos, am I allowed to move that on Shabbos? Walk it through. According to Rabbi Yehuda?
Yes.
According to Rabbi Yehuda, if it's an old and disgusting candle.
Oh, no.
No. According to Meir?
Yes.
Yes. Why?
Because there's no Isser.
Because it doesn't hold. Because there was no Isser, right? And Rosh Shimon?
Yes.
Absolutely. I have a candle that is that I lit before Shabbos and it went out on Shabbos. According to Rabbi Yehuda?
Is this metal one or no?
What?
No.
No. Why? Why though?
Metal one?
No, not metal. Regular candle. Why?
Because it's still gross.
It's Mias, right? According to Rabbi Meir,
No.
because of the Isser. The Isser was Shem Yechaveh, and according to Shimon,
Yes.
well, no, we can still move it. Right. Okay. Now, all the other thing we know is that Rosh Shimon holds by, now you can say it, now by a metal, a Ka'ara case, if it lasts all Shabbos, he holds that after it goes out, you still couldn't move it. Okay? Okay, but for now, these two you understand, right? Everyone understand this?
Yeah.
Everyone understand this clearly.
Well,
Right?
Yehuda is still.
I don't mean conceptually,
Yeah,
just
I get it.
factually. Good. Where are you going? Okay, now, Monty, read. Start from Amar Zera.
Amar of Zera. Pumic should leak about a Shabbos. A pumic that was lit on Shabbos. The divrei mater iser.
On Shabbos?
The divrei iser.
That means before Shabbos.
Mutter.
Okay?
The Makel opinion holds its usher here, and the Machmer opinion
Okay, so the
holds
Gemara offers to be a cryptic description, which is very simple. You have the pumic. Now, what's the pumic? It's a metal menorah, right? What do we know? What's the other feature about a metal menorah that we know? No mios, right? A metal menorah never gets disgusting. Is that clear?
Yeah.
So when the Gemara says l'divrei hakol, excuse me, when the Gemara says l'divrei hamuter aser, okay, let's plug it in. What does that mean? If I have a pumic and that pumic is lit before Shabbos and it goes out on Shabbos, okay, what should you say? What say you? Okay, the pumic goes out on Shabbos. If you're Rabbi Yehuda, what do you say?
Move it.
Why?
Because it's not disgusting.
Right, it's not disgusting, and therefore he obviously doesn't hold of what?
The other one.
Of Isser, right? Is that clear?
Right.
Whereas the Gemara is going, now the Gemara is going to its next deductive step. It's saying that by the case of the pumic, the person who holds moving the pumic would be moving, the person who holds that moving something that's mos is a problem, right, would not be a problem to move. But therefore that means he doesn't hold a Muktzeh Machmas Isser. And if you hold what? It'd be mutter to move something that's mos, right? You would hold this as usher to move. Why? Muktzeh Machmas Isser. So all the Gemara has done at this point, this one is factually, all the Gemara has done at this point is it showed you that Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Meir maintain independent positions. Okay? So step one is Rabbi Yehuda, right? Rabbi Meir are independent. Okay? Is that clear?
Yes.
That says independent. They're independent of each other. Okay? So one doesn't hold the other. Mios and Isser can exist independent from one from the other. Is there anything wrong with saying that at this point? Is that troublesome? Why not? Right? I mean, shut up. At this point, I said at this point.
Okay, no!
Why it shouldn't be a problem, right? Because each one. Why should one have anything to do with the other, right? They're two separate external features, right? Okay, so one is more related to the abstract definition of it. The other one's more physical. Who cares? Point is, these two have nothing to do with each other. Okay, right? For now. Okay. Now the Gemara says we have a problem. Okay, Tanya. So keep going on the Gemara.
There's a monkey wrench right there.
Keep going. Keep going.
Sorry. Lemember to Rabbi Yehuda, Muktzeh Machmas Mias Islay, Muktzeh Machmas Isser Laslay. To say that Rabbi Yehuda holds a Muktzeh Machmas Mias, but not Muktzeh Machmas Isser. But Tanya, Rabbi Yehuda, Imer Kol Ner Shal Matafas. Any metal Ner Mataflan you can move. Chutzman Ner Shalik by the Shabbos, unless it's Muktzeh Machmas Isser.
Oh no! Stop being fancy.
Unless it was lit on Shabbos.
Thank you. Move a metal candle.
Does that mean candelabra?
Could we say that again? Because like a
Candelabra. Metal candle. I will say it right now. After it goes out. So, what the Gemara says, we have a big problem. There's a brisa, the Gemara waited till now to tell us. Surprise! There's a brisa that says at a corner of Yehuda, okay, a metal candle. Now, metal candle means it's not what? Mias, right?
Right.
Which is right in line with his position, right? Which he holds, Muktzeh Machmas Mias. Metal candles do not have the characteristic of Mias to them. Right. So therefore, what would you assume? After the candle goes out, I should be able to move it, right? Except because he doesn't hold the Muktzeh Machmas Isser. Unfortunately, the problem is the way the Gemara, this brisa tells you what? He holds both Mias and Isser. So at this point, Rabbi Yehuda holds what? Mias plus Isser. Okay. Is there a problem with that? Okay, so what you'd have to define is, at this point, we're going to get all the facts now. At this point, what would you define? I want to understand, why would you look at them, forget the positions, why would you look at Mias and Isser independent of each other, and why would you hold it according to the other way of learning, that one builds off the other, or I'm giving it away, or that they somehow work in conjunction with each other, yes. Okay? So at this point in time, we thought that Rabbi Yehuda only held the Mias and not of Isser, but it turns out we were wrong. And he holds both Machmas exist. Okay? Now you should already, actually don't start thinking about it yet, okay? Both Machmas exist. The real question you have to ask yourself is that, whose is more of a problem according to? Rabbi Meir or Rabbi Yehuda?
Who's what more? What
this position, to say that Rabbi Yehuda holds both.
It's a problem?
Yeah, I'll tell you what the problem is, okay? This is, what's conceptually, before, you don't have to find it, what's conceptually simpler to say? Rabbi Yehuda version 2 or Rabbi Meir?
There.
Why?
Because he only has one variable.
Okay, that's one way to look at it. And you say?
He seems to hold by the universal principle that externalities and the
Thank you. Okay, so that's two possibilities. Rameir has, second, very good. That's a great first step. Rameir is saying what? Rameir is isolating a variable, right? He has fewer variables. But Rabbi Yehuda seems to be saying there's a problem in what?
He holds by more universal.
In Machmas. Rabbi Yehuda seems to be saying that the problem is Machmas. It's not Isser Mias, it's Machmas. And it just happens to be there's two expressions of Machmas, Mias and Isser. But he's really holds Muktzeh Machmas X, okay? Fine. Okay. Corner Rashi, okay? Yep. What's the conclusion of the Gemara? Stop with your mad scientist notes. What's the Gemara say?
Ela Ian Mar Hazimar. But if Zera said anything, this is what he said. Zera, how much of Likul Shabbos, a metal candle, metal menorah which you lit.
So we just quoted it first.
Or which was lit on Shabbos.
Right.
Divrei Kol Aser.
Paul, not Divrei. Obviously, you have to say that the Gemara saw in front of it was it saw a dalet 1 second, so a dalet hay, and it saw Divrei HaMutter, so that's Divrei HaKol. Whatever, that doesn't bother me. Okay.
Wait, what?
It's dalet hay.
Right.
It's not a coincidence that's Divrei HaKol.
And Divrei HaMutter and Divrei
HaKol. Say that?
Right. What?
What does it say?
It doesn't. I'm speculating that could be the reason why the Gemara is saying. How the Gemara change it from Divrei HaMutter to Divrei HaKol? Oh, because I think the Roshei Tevos are the same. When I read the Bryce initially, it could. This is complete speculation, but it could be what. No one backs this up. I didn't see no one say. Oh, so that's right. So it could. I know, but it could have said. No. It could have said Dalet Hay, Mutter Dalet Hay Aser. And know what it meant. Yeah.
We still don't.
But for now,
I don't even know what's happening at this point.
You do. Do you know this?
Yes.
then you know what's happening at this point. I haven't written anything yet.
You did.
No, wait. Let me. Wait. So different. Read the Gemara. So different. Call.
Different call. Wait, should legal love a Shabbos? Different call usher. Light legal love. Different call usher.
Or different call. Mutter.
That's what we're doing. Right, light legal. Sorry, yeah.
I'm writing this one out. So it doesn't work at all.
Now plug it in. So how does this work now? Okay, so now the Gemara says, no, this is how you read it. You read the case of a pomet, the case of the metal candelabra that was lit before Shabbos. And now it's Shabbos, right? And it goes out, okay?
I last all Shabbos.
What?
I last all Shabbos.
Right, now you realize why you have to say that. Because it says divrei hakol, right? Divrei hakol means everybody. Meaning, Rav Meir, well, I shouldn't say that.
I don't know what you're saying.
The Gemara first said, how would you learn? You will learn that Rabbi Yehuda holds both Mias and Isser. Okay? So that's going to be a problem in the initial way of learning that these guys are independent. Right. So the Gemara says, no, it turns out that they're linked. Both Rav Meir and Rabbi Yehuda agree that when it's not lit, you can move it. Why?
That makes sense.
Why? Let's just explain why, though. Follow this. Pay attention. Rav Meir, good. Rav Meir and Yehuda would agree that before it's lit, meaning I have a metal candelabra sitting in my room before Shabbos starts, it's not lit, I'm allowed to move it. Because according to and Shabbos starts, I can move it. Why? Because according to
There's no
mias and there's no
Isser.
good. And if you hold divrei hakol usher.
Who doesn't hold to this?
But they both hold that after it's lit, hold on, after it's lit, and then it goes out, both Rav Meir and Yehuda agree, that's also why. Because they both agree, because they both hold a machmas isser.
So who cares about me instead?
You at this point, nobody. That's the point. In version 1, Rav Yehuda and Rav Meir's position were independent of each other. In version 2, Rav Yehuda holds both isser and mias, whereas Rav Meir only holds of isser.
Is it easier to say
And
that?
this is all according to Rashi.
Yeah, next. Alright, cool.
As long as I know what we're talking about.
What did we first say about Rabbi Yehuda?
Okay. Before we go into Tosfos, is this clear? If you take a look at Tosfos, the divrei hamatir aser. Mati, let's go.
Yeah. Here's what Dodgers. L'divrei Meir. Rashi explains that L'divrei Mater is L'divrei Meir. Them time are effective. My Kamash Malon.
Wait, hold on. What?
Very slow.
I don't think it's gonna make a difference. Go.
Here's what Dodgers. Rashi explains.
You should slow down, but I mean, yeah, L'divrei Rav Meir.
That L'divrei Mater means L'divrei Rav Meir.
Are you translating?
Them time.
Vim
The
Tomar.
person who holds his mater is Rav Meir. Vim Tamar. Taisus asks, Mike Machmlan, what is this coming to teach us? Behedya Kaser Rav Meir Ner Shavliku Ba'isa Shabbos. Rav Meir explicitly authored a candle that was lit.
In other words, so what's his first question? So now explain what's his first question.
His first question is
out of the words.
In the first brisa of Tanur Matatlan Ner Chadash, Rav Meir says straight out that that a Muktzeh Machmas Isser is a problem, and this is straight up Muktzeh Machmas Isser. So
right.
why would it be a problem?
Okay, but better, but even more so. In other words, what's Tosfos' question? Tosfos' question. His first question is what? Let's get it even better, clearer. What is he really asking? What? What's his beef with Rav Meir? Well, what's his beef with the Gemara?
Tosfos should get thrown darts right now.
Bothering Tosfos, the first question Tosfos asks. Okay. Let's read the Gemara. The Gemara says by the case of a pomet. Okay. Now again, in the initial version, Rav Meir holds what? Okay. Now, what's the pomet case coming to teach you in the first version of the Gemara? Because what does the first version of the Gemara tell us? The first version tells us that whoever says it's mutter holds aser, and whoever holds aser holds mutter. So now let's take.
Have we said what they're referring to as a constant?
Well, we know it's mias and isser. Okay, those are the variables, mias and isser. So the Gemara's so Tosfos is bothered by what are we learning from Rav Meir? What's Rav Meir coming to? Why would the Gemara tell us something about Rav Meir that's pashut? We know this about Rav Meir. We don't learn anything. There's nothing new.
By the
Pomet case. Of course we know that. Of course. Clarifying what? Of course he would hold. If you hold, no, 1 second. If you have a problem of mias, so I can understand why the Gemara will come and present a chiddush. But if you have an issue with isser, machmas isser, so what's the Pomet coming to teach you? Nothing. You know, there's nothing the Pomet case is coming to teach you because we know any candle that's lit before Shabbos, through Shabbos itself, right, and it goes out, I can never move the candle. Tosfos, because I'll tell you what's really bothering Tosfos. Tosfos, remember, the Gemara doesn't waste our time, okay?
What is conceptual?
So, you'll see the conceptual part in a second. about to come up.
I thought that was for tomorrow.
What?
I thought it was for
No, I'm not going to define it. I'm going to get you thinking in the right direction. In other words, Tosos, what's Tosos bothered by? Tosos is saying that you have this strange Gemara that is throwing out a Havina Maskana, and the whole thing doesn't jive. So he wants to know every piece of the Gemara must have a value to it. So why would the Gemara tell us anything about Rameir? Why would it even mention even like imply something about him? Well, we know this already. It's wasting our time. You understand? Why mention the position of Rameir when it's wasting our time? So 1 second. All right, so 1 second. So now Tosa says, maybe you'll say like this. Shh, guys. Tosa says,
that the Havamina was Hanimili B'ner Shel Charas, that Rameir's original din was only by a earthenware vessel. This by Tarti, because it has two problems: Muktzeh Machmas Mios, Machmas Isser.
Oh, 1 second.
Machmas Mios and Isser.
So Tosa throws a massive. Wait. Okay. Tosa throws a massive curveball. Tosa says, I don't know if Rameir, but anyway. Okay. What does Tosa now say? Right. It's an evil lie, right? Because what's your Havamina? Okay.
He needs both.
The Havina is that maybe Rameir would require, for Muktzeh Machmas to work, what would he require? Machmas equals both. I need, now this is different than Rabbi Yehuda. In this version of Rabbi Yehuda, just listen, Rabbi Yehuda here was saying that he holds of both Mias and Isser. Meaning, he says both of them are realities. Okay? That's different than saying what Rameir is saying at this point, which is that what? Then maybe you would say what? In order for Machmas to be expressed, what must be in the very thing itself?
Yes.
Both Mias and Isser.
What are you talking about?
Okay. Rabbi Yehuda holds what? Rabbi Yehuda holds, in the version of the Gemara, he holds that you can have in the final version, you can have a Muktzeh Machmas Mias, and you can have a Muktzeh Machmas Isser. And they're, again, both of them are existing. Okay? Both of them are realities. In the Havamina of Rameir, right, Tosas is suggesting that maybe what will you say? You'll say that in order for something to be Muktzeh Machmas anything, it requires both Mias and Isser. You understand? Well, hold on. He's going to reject that. He says, maybe this is why you have to bring Rameir in. Maybe you would think that what does Rameir hold? Since Rameir holds we know he holds a Machmas Isser, maybe what Rameir meant to say was that I hold that both Mias and Isser must exist in the entity for any Machmas to emerge. Now, what's next to Tosa says?
Veinir
What? Veinir L'Ri. I'm sorry, Veinir L'Ri. I'm sorry, the Ain, right. Now Tosa says, none of this, right? He doesn't buy any of this. Rabbeinu Tam now goes in a different direction, okay? Now we have that. Go. In Tosos. It's halfway through the Tosos.
He brings his own source and then he brings Rabbeinu Tam.
Yeah.
What's his
Tosos is very similar to Gemara.
appear to be correct, Lefi Rabbeinu Tam. Lefi Zeb, because according to this, Hadamasik, Divrei Kol Aser, Lav El Rameir Rabbi Yehuda. Because that which we conclude that everybody holds us,
right.
everybody
So
holds mutter.
that's his critical problem. His problem is Divrei Kol sounds like what? Everybody. So if you follow this line of reasoning, you'll get to the point of saying Rabbi Yehuda or Rameir. But the problem is that the Gemara says Divrei Kol. What should it have said?
Divrei
Rameir or Yehuda, right? Okay. You can't ignore Rav Shimon. Now, okay, already. Now, what? Why not? Meaning, who did ignore Rav Shimon? Who did ignore Rav Shimon?
He's not in that price though.
Rashi.
He's not in that price.
I know, but okay, fine. But what's Rashi going to do?
Rashi will say Divrei Kol is not everybody in that price though.
Okay, fine. Yeah. Ella. Yeah.
Rav Shimon. Umafarish, and he explains within Pirish Rabbeinu Chananel, and also Rabbeinu Chananel explains the Divrei Mater Hainu Rav Shimon. The matir is Rav Shimon, who matirs as long as it's not lit at the time.
Right. Aser Khan b'pamat.
Aser Khan, but he Aser Ter b'pamat by
because it's gadol. Oh, so where did Ginsburg get that from? I'll tell you where they got it from. Because they're Tosfos. Because Tosfos says you must learn that Rav Shimon holds what? You have to learn this way.
Rashi wouldn't agree with that.
You're right. 1 second, hold on. But see, you got just on a factual level, okay? On a factual, I'll explain. On a factual level, you got to. Tosfos, as shrewd as he can be, sometimes Tosfos also leaves us some like conceptual dirt, so to speak. No dirt, because what did he do here? He's very smart. Tosfos is like, oh, well, it's got to be different. Kol means what? Right?
Everybody, even
everyone, right?
Conceptual mud.
Everyone. But in order to do that, he's got to change one fact. Well, I'm just going to change the fact. He's got to introduce one another variable you weren't thinking of, which is that, the pommet lasts all Shabbos. Because if he doesn't say that, how could Rosh Shimon hold its usher to move the pommet after it goes out on Shabbos?
He wouldn't.
He wouldn't. So therefore,
How can a mayor hold
you
it?
understand the weakness in his position. What's the weakness? The weakness is that he's forced to shift this to fit into Rosh Shimon.
It's not shifting. It seems pretty good.
Why would you think that a pommet means that?
It's pretty
What?
Why is that?
Because why would you? I didn't say force. I said he's shifting it
Why?
into.
Why? Because Rav Shimon prohibits it. That's what you're thinking.
And he's forced to. Because how's Divrei Kol going to work? How's Divrei Kol usher going to work with Rosh Shimon's position? How's that going to work? Right? The only way it's going to work is to say what? It's to say that Rosh Shimon must hold its usher, not because of machmas isser or machmas mias, but because it's like the case of the kos ka'ara. But the Gemara never indicates that, right?
Why doesn't it indicate that either?
What you just pointed over here?
Wait. Well, the case
It doesn't indicate any of this, right?
Remind me, the case of the Coast Guard.
Kos ka'ara is when I light it, so it's going to last all Shabbos. So if it goes out, unicorn or Shimon, that there's a reality there. My das defines it as an all Shabbos kli, all Shabbos nair. So what?
Doesn't that indicate Ramirez's position either?
What does?
That both, or else that you need both machmas for
Not Divrei Kol. No, he's in Divrei Kol now. See, within Divrei Kol.
Singing beautiful songs.
Right. Okay. So now, Monty, to finish up. So now Divrei Kol says it means everybody. Rosh Shimon therefore must hold that the pommet is big. Okay, go on.
L'divrei
Where are you? One second.
Let's hear it a bit. L'divrei
One second. Yeah, kamo pomoto shel beis Rebbe the shaykol kisvei. Right. Divrei oser. Okay.
Divrei Hainu Rameir Rabbi Yehuda, and the Divrei is Rameir and Rabbi Yehuda. The Asri b'ner Charis, and they're called Aser because they Aser and their Charis should leak by Baisa Shabbos, Muktzeh Machmas Isser.
Right, Bahani Mili.
Bahani Mili b'ner Shel Charis di Katarti, Muktzeh Machmas Mios, Muktzeh Machmas Isser.
Right.
Av b'ner Matechas, but a metal kli, sure they would permit.
Right. Okay, and then we conclude. Man, he's rereading the whole Gemara. Okay, did you pick up on that? Like, he's reading the whole Gemara. The whole Gemara is being reread. I need another board. Okay, I forgot. Gemara's first possibility was, according in Tosfos' world, the first possibility was, the Gemara first thought that Rav Shimon holds the pommet is asur when it goes out. Why would Rav Shimon hold the pommet is asur when it goes out? Because what was his das in the beginning?
Like the whole Shabbos.
We're supposed to be lit all Shabbos, right? But Rameh and Yehuda would hold the pommet's mutter when it goes out. Why?
Because they don't hold the das.
What do you mean? Right. Well, more than just don't hold the das. Also,
And it's not mias.
and it's not mias. Well, it's not. What does he really say?
Is it not both?
It doesn't have both.
That's just for Rameir. No.
Is it?
Anyway, if it's not
Hold
mias.
on. Just what I'm saying. What he says factually is.
He
He says because it doesn't have. He says the Divrei Oser Hainu Rameir Yehuda the Asu b'ner Cheres Shaliku Bo Oser Shabbos the Hani Mili Shel Cheres the Katarti Muktzeh Machmas Mius Machmas Isser Aval b'ner Mateches Sharo. Okay, so how are they reading it?
So he is rereading what Ha'oser and Hamutzer are referring to.
Yes, Tosos is. He said this. He's saying that you would think that a cornered man, Rabbi Yehuda, right? Or I should say, Rabbi Yehuda, hold by Ner Shel Cheres, right? After I light it, is always going to be a problem. Why? Because what does a Ner Shel Cheres have in it?
Has the
Both Mias and Isser. But Mateches turns out does not.
Rabbi Yehuda has to not hold the Muktzeh Machmas Isser at this point.
Correct.
So he has to not hold it.
Right.
He
Why?
has to not hold it. Because in the Gemara's next question is Lamemra that Rabbi Yehuda holds.
That's the kasha.
Which means that in the Hamina he did not hold it.
Correct.
So he did not hold it.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
What do you do when he does this?
What? Yeah.
Tosos down there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So Tosos down there. Is that Havminas now?
This is explaining Rashi.
Okay, the entire thing? Down to
The entire thing.
Down to the Miskana?
Well, he's saying he first explains Rashi in version 1 of the Gemara, right? But then he says once you go to version 2, which is Divrei Kol, Rashi won't work anymore. You understand?
That would be Rashi Divrei Kol.
Correct.
Would be, except for okay.
Yeah.
Fine.
So now he swings back. Now going back up here. So how do you read the Gemara? Oh, so we got to bring Rosh Shimon back into it. But okay, because of Divrei Kol. But how do you do that? So what do you say? Rosh Shimon, we thought initially Rosh Shimon would hold the Pametz Aser, right? But that Rameir and Yehuda will hold the Pametz Mutter. Why would the Pamet be Mutter? Because it doesn't have.
no Isser.
It needs both. It needs Mias and Isser, and he would agree with that. What?
According to both of them.
According to both of them. According to both of them. So what does Tosos then say? Mati? The conclusion is that no.
So no. Everybody holds that if it was lit, it's us.
Well, read it inside.
No.
So 1 second. So now let's work out Divrei
I
HaKol.
gotta
Okay.
this a little bit.
Yeah, so I don't have this most recent one.
I'm gonna get it to you right now. Okay. I'm gonna just say it once and I'll repeat it as many times as necessary. Okay.
I didn't even have to say das.
1 second, Mati.
Yeah.
Give it to me. Divrei HaKol mutter, right?
Direct on mutter because
When it's
that's
before,
not lit.
right?
because
Not lit.
there's-
Why?
Well, there's two different reasons.
And now you see the conceptual problem with Tosos.
You know,
But okay,
the direct
what-
call is two separate reasons.
Right. Okay. So not lit means why would it be mutter?
Well, the fear of Shimon because there's no das problem, and the fear of the other two because either there's no Muktzeh machmas mias or there's not both, or there's not either.
No, there's neither one exists. Okay. Okay. And according to when it is lit and goes out, everyone holds its usher. Why?
Either there is a das problem, fear of Shimon,
Right.
or there's
They both agree with Mach?
mias. Isser.
Isser.
Right.
Okay. Good. He's got it. Okay. Ready? Again. Slowly. Step by step. Okay.
Wait, so what does Tosos hold regarding Rameir?
Don't. It's like amazing. Right.
Too much.
Is it?
Yes.
It's really that overwhelming?
Yes.
I don't think it
There's a
is.
million different things.
It's a lot of balls to juggle. I agree. I'm not saying I'm not
And then you
sympathetic to it.
switch one of the names in the middle.
Right, amazing, right? Yeah. Okay,
You're
ready?
making fun of me,
Not at all. Let's go.
liar.
Right, so what does Tosos hold regarding Yehuda and
We'll
Rameir?
then just do facts first.
That is in
Can
fact.
you do like all of those toast right now? Like,
Yeah.
What does Tosos hold that the harmony regarding Yehuda and Rameir wasn't Scott?
That both Rameir and Yehuda require both to be expressed in the entity. Both, like this both in the case of the what do you call Ner Shel Cheres.
Were they both?
Let me run through the facts. Okay.
okay, so
Tosos from the beginning. Wait a second.
saying that
Wait, you have to say Tosos from the Tosos beginning or just Rabbeinu Tam from the beginning?
Tosos.
Okay.
But you can't just do the last step.
No. Let's go back to Rashi.
Wait.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Do not talk to the
Huh?
What? So let me do. I got to do this first.
Lefitaisis Rameir holds that either or.
Correct.
So why isn't it usher in the Bryce in the beginning?
Which Bryson? The first one?
Yeah, where it says it has to be.
Good question. Good question. Hold on. Let's just.
But that is correct though.
I think so. Look, I got. Let me just do the facts first, and I'll make sure it works out in my mind. Okay. Factually, let's start from the beginning. Okay. John, from the beginning. Okay. Okay. Corner Rashi. How does Rashi read the
Run
Gemara?
through the add questions though, and then
Yes.
ask the questions after. Okay.
Yes. Okay. I'm going to go through it once. Okay, please just try and focus and follow. Okay. Okay. I'll repeat a point later on if necessary. Okay. But let's just get from the beginning. The Gemara first says we have the case of the pumet. What's the pumet? It is that metal candelabra that doesn't get disgusted. That's what we know so far. Okay. The Gemara says that I'm not going to read inside. I'm going to tell you outside. The corner Rashi. The Gemara says that there's no problem whatsoever. Rabbi Yehuda would hold, right, that the candelabra is not a problem, right, because he holds of mias, and there's no mias by candelabra. But Rav Meir would hold what? He would hold it is a problem because when it goes out, it's usher, right? Clear? That's right. Okay. The conclusion of the Gemara is what? What's the conclusion of the Gemara? What do you mean changes? Really, Rabbi Yehuda holds. Rabbi Yehuda holds that in the area of machmas, mias and isser are phenomenon, right? That doesn't mean you have to have them both together, but he says either one. Whereas Rameir holds only isser. Is that clear?
Didn't we? Okay.
Yes, we said that already. Okay. Tosos number one. Tosos comes in and expands one thing in Rashi to help us. Okay, he says 1 second. According to Rashi, why would the Gemara have to tell us anything about Rameir? Because if Rameir holds books of Machmas Isser, right? There's no difference if I have a Ner Shel Cheres, if I have an earthenware candle, or a pumet, which is a metal candle. Both of them, when I light them before Shabbos, and they go out on Shabbos, what happens? They're usher to move. So why does the Gemara waste our time telling us about this case of Rameir? Right? Clear? What?
Good question.
So Tosa says, I'll tell you why. Because you have to understand there's a big difference between a Ner Shel Mateches and Ner Shel Cheres. What's the difference? You would think that
What is it? Translate.
an earthenware candle versus a metal candle. Okay? The earthenware candle, okay? What? Lamp?
It's not candle.
There's some freaking difference over the strap.
It's important distinction.
No, we said no question, no stuff like that.
Everyone shut up. I'm gonna be shut
Keep
up.
going, please.
Okay, so now by the ner shel cher, by the earthenware lantern, okay, versus the metal candelabra, okay. By the earthenware lantern, what would you have thought? If you just had that case, you know what you would have thought? You would have thought that what does Rameir hold? Rameir holds that the reason why the earthenware lantern is a problem is because it has two things in it. One is after I light it, what happens to it? It gets disgusting, and also when I light it before Shabbos, it is usher to move. So now you got two things in the earthenware lantern. You have mias because I lit it, right? And you have, this is going to come back to haunt us many times, by the way. But anyway, the ner shacharis is the hardest case, but it has both disgustingness in it and isserness in it. Is that clear? Do you understand why you would think that?
There.
What? And if one of them's not there,
No question.
right? And if one of them is not there, it's not muktzeh. So when you have, according to the assumption in Rashi's learning initially, the initial assumption, we're going to reject it. The initial assumption is that according to Rameir, you would why do you need the case of the pumice? I'll tell you why. Because if you just had the earthenware candle, the earthenware lantern, you would think the reason why Rameir holds is a problem is because the earthenware lantern has both machmas iser and machmas mias. But if you locked one of those two in any kli, what would he hold? Not muktzeh. So what is the you really don't understand that? Really?
Okay, just keep going.
Okay, so now what happens when the metal candelabra, right? The metal candelabra is teaching you what? It's teaching you no. He doesn't hold that it requires both, right? He holds that what? He only holds of Isser, right? And that's why the case of the pumice will be a problem after it goes out. So again, if you just had the earthenware lantern, just that case, you would think that a corner mayor, I need both mias and Isser for it to be a problem, right? But now the metal candle, the fact that Brycer quotes Rameir in a certain way is telling you what? That Rameir does not hold you need both. You just need Isser.
So Tosa's arguing that being Talmud how to read Rameir.
No.
No. That's
No.
Okay.
No. So now.
I tried.
Now. Tosfos says that's great in the initial presentation of Rameir. But if you follow this to its logical conclusion, you're going to run into a very simple problem. The Gemara says divrei hakol. And divrei hakol should mean to include Rav Shimon. And you can't learn this way and include Rav Shimon. It would make no sense whatsoever. You can't. You cannot learn Rav Yehuda maintaining Isser and Mias, right? Rav Meir maintaining just Isser, and say Divrei HaKol would work. It's not going to work. You need Divrei HaKol means Rav Shimon also. Okay, so that's why Tosfos says you can't learn like Rashi. Okay, and now we can go into Tosfos' version in the Gemara. But you understand what the problem learning Rashi is? The simplest way to learn it is the Gemara says Divrei HaKol, and Divrei HaKol should mean what? It should mean including Rav Shimon, right? Where's Rav Shimon in this whole thing? Okay. So now Tosfos has to Rabbeinu Tam has to read this Gemara entirely differently. Okay? But you got to remember, in order to read this entirely differently, he has to include Rav Shimon into this. So now again, let's go back to the beginning of the Gemara. Okay? The first introduction of Pumitz. In the first introduction of Pumitz, right, the Gemara's lashon is Divrei HaMutter Oser, Divrei HaOser Mutter. Who's Divrei HaMutter? Rav Shimon. Because Rav Shimon holds when a candle goes out, enjoy moving it, right? But he holds in the case of the Pumitz, it'll be usher to move it. Why? Why is it usher to move the Pumitz according to Rav Shimon?
According to Rav Shimon, because it stays lit for the whole Shabbos.
It stays lit for the whole Shabbos. It's no different than the case of...
You relate to it as an object.
Yeah. It's no different than the Kos and Ka'ara, right? It's no different than the Kos Ka'ara. It's a candle meant to stay lit all of Shabbos. So we saw before that Rav Shimon holds by Kos and Ka'ara that even when it goes out, I can't move it. The Pumitz no difference, right? Rav Shimon, Pumitz is usher. Okay? Now, one second. Now, the other side is Divrei HaOser.
Why is that not true by earthenware for them though?
But according to who?
Very Shimon, it's
Because it goes out after like 3 hours.
Keep going.
So what's your argument regarding
So now,
Pumitz never goes out.
right. Okay. So now, Now what about Rameir Yehuda? So they held that the earthenware is usher, right? But the Pumitz is mutter. In version 1, remember Divrei HaOser mutter. What's the oser? Kli Shacharis, the earthenware lantern, will be mutter the ner shamatachas. Why? Oh, because in the ner, now remember, he's borrowing what he did here and applying it to here. In an earthenware lantern, well, guess what? I have the property of mias and the property of iser. And both Rav Meir and Yehuda would agree that that's what I require. But by the matachas, do I have both? No, all I have is iser. So therefore, they would line up to agree in this bizarro alternate universe of Tosfos. They would agree that when it comes to the pamut, it's mutter. Why is it mutter? Because it only has iser. It doesn't have mias as well.
Are we sure?
So we were saying, so he's mutating the havmina of Rav Meir. Rav Meir's havmina was that it was only Rav Meir that held you need both. In this version, right? You don't have to say this, but I'm saying in this version, according to Rav Meir, it doesn't have both, right? And according to Yehuda, it's not mias, right?
How can you change it?
Who changed it?
How can Tosfos change Rav Meir's opinion?
What do you mean? No, it's not. This isn't the conclusion. This is the Havamina. Because in the Havamina, he's borrowing what he did by Rashi. He's a smart guy and applying it to his first version of the Gemara. You understand? Okay? Kappel, come on, let's finish this.
I got it.
Okay, no, like last step.
Oh, fine.
Okay, so now, but that can't be because the Brisa says, according to Rabbi Yehuda, all Neros I can move when they're not lit, but the Pamut I cannot move after it goes out. So Rabbi Yehuda must hold a Machmas Isser as well, right? He must hold a Machmas Isser. So what does the Gemara conclude? It's Divrei Kol Mutter, meaning Rav Meir, Rabbi Yehuda, and Rosh Shimon holds the Pamut before it's lit is mutter to move, meaning if it was an unlit Pamut on Shabbos, I can move it around. Rav Meir, Rav Yehuda, and Rav Shimon hold that after the Pamut gets lit and it goes out on Shabbos, they all agree you can't move it.
Okay.
Why? Let's plug it in. Before Shabbos, when it's not lit, why can you move it? According to Rav Shimon?
Because it's not lit.
Okay, according to Rav Meir?
It's not Isser.
What?
Because it was never lit, so it's not Isser.
Okay, good. And according to Rav Yehuda?
There's no such thing as Mias.
Okay, good.
What?
Divrei Kol Aser?
Or Candelabra.
Hold on. Divrei, because, one second. Divrei Kol, he's missing one point, but it's fine. Divrei Kol Aser says, you'll see. Divrei Kol Aser says what? Rav Shimon holds it's Aser, why?
Because it's going to last all day.
Good. Rav Meir holds it's Aser, why?
Because once it's lit, it's Usher.
And Rav Yehuda holds it's Aser, why?
Also, sir.
Also Aser.
So sometimes he says, sometimes he says, yeah, Rabbi Yehuda says it's both, and sometimes he says it's just Mias. Why does he do
No. It's like this. In other words,
That's the book. He said it's mutter because he doesn't hold by his.
so you've got it. What you really do have it. What you're trying to realize. That's why writing a chart's good for him to remember. But he doesn't realize he's going to dig a deep hole for himself. Ultimately, now think about it. Ultimately, in the conclusion, what does Tosfos say? Tosfos says Rabbi Yehuda requires. Rabbi Yehuda holds of what? He holds both of Mias and of Isser. They don't have to coexist. They don't have to, but he holds of both, right? Which is based on Rashi. So what does it really come down to? This whole machlokas, if you think about it, really, what does it come down to? What does it come down to?
Meir doesn't look like it's Rav Meir.
Why?
In Rav Meir, because Rav Meir would hold that it's either or.
No, because Rameir would still hold here. Why would Rameir hold here that when it goes out, I can't move it? The same reason why he holds here when it goes out, I can't move it. You know what the machlokas is? Ultimately, if you take all the stuff out, you know what it comes down to? It's a very simple. It's a very simple machlokas. What? Okay, meaning what? Meaning that.
Lefi Rashi, Rav Meir doesn't hold the Muktzeh Machmas.
Rav Meir only
Who?
holds
Lefi Rashi, Rav Meir doesn't hold the Muktzeh Machmas.
Correct. And according to Tosfos, at the end, how can he hold? How can he hold that? He holds when it's lit and it goes out, right?
Yeah.
But when it's what about before Shabbos? Let's say it wasn't lit. Divrei Kol Mutter, including.
That's no mias.
Oh, so no. Right, it's no mias. Right. So Rameir holds Isser. He doesn't hold it.
Also.
Why mias? How do you know? No, then the first price will never work.
The first part, that's what I asked.
Oh, right. So that's why you have to hold. That's why. No, that's why it goes back to. That's why I said wait till I go to the facts again. That's why it goes back to. There really is no difference in how they're learning here. So what does it come down to? What's the real machlokas after all that's said and done?
Divrei Kol Aser.
Okay, if you hold in Tosfos' conclusion, okay, Divrei Kol Mutter, Divrei Kol Aser.
Just Aser.
Aser, okay. If I light it before Shabbos and then it goes out on Shabbos, Rav Shimon holds I can't move it. Why? Because my das is on a long-lasting candle. We defined that already last week. Rav Meir holds I can't move it. Why? Muktzeh Machmas Isser. Right? Rav Yehuda holds why? Muktzeh Machmas Isser. So what's the chiddush? Rav Yehuda holds both mias.
It goes out early or it goes out?
If it goes out, by definition it goes out early because
Entire machlokes.
Because what? Because what?
better.
What?
If it goes out?
Yes.
If it goes out on Shabbos,
How am I supposed to be the whole time or just a long?
the whole time. But it doesn't matter according to Rameir and Yehuda. They don't care about the lasting the whole time. Correct.
Then all three inside Machos sisters.
No.
So that's
No. Rav Shimon cares about the candle lasting all Shabbos because he holds as a separate idea of long-lasting candles. Your das has to be in a long-lasting candle. So if it goes out early, that termination of the function does not mean that now it's permitted for me to use it. But Rameir and Yehuda don't care about that. They care about one thing. Was that
fine? Just designation.
right? Oh, so now what's the machlokas in the end? In the end of the day, yeah.
Yehuda, is he saying? Okay, is he saying both or just mias?
Rabbi Yehuda is saying you both. Not that you need both at the same time.
Independently.
What's her? Did
What?
he say before?
No, he's saying that
You said
independent.
question 4, but do you leave some info like deep throat?
Let me just show you what you have to define.
What? Never heard of Watergate, bro? No. Before it was deep throat. Yeah, I'm holding. Hashtag
Wait, the machlokes
Torah,
would be
Umad,
das,
Machlokas.
Lefi, Rameir, and
No,
Yehuda.
just think conceptual, just factually. What's the machlokas?
No.
You like that?
What's the machlokas?
Oh, if in a big thing with your Rameir and Yehuda, Tyson would hold, even if it's a big kli, if there's no mias or iser, it would be okay to use. And Rav Shimon would hold its essor to use. And Rav Shimon would hold its essor to use.
Let me ask you, practically speaking, at the end of the day, according to Rashi, Rabbi Yehuda holds what? At the end of the day, according to Rashi, what does you both independent? And the Maskana. What does Tosos hold Rabbi Yehuda?
Same thing.
Independent both.
Barbeir.
Same thing.
And Rav Shimon? Well, we don't think Rashi would argue Rav Shimon, so what are they arguing about?
They're arguing in Rameir and Yehuda
Is
by
he
if it's
in
a
the
big
Havamina?
kli. No, even in the Maskana, a big kli.
No, why?
Rameir and Yehuda don't change their opinion by a big kli.
don't-
There's no concept of das.
No, you're mixing. No. Why would they care about a big clean? They care about the fact there's no mias by the
If there's no
Matafas.
mias and there's no iser,
Right?
then there would be a machlekes Rav Shimon and Rav Yehuda Rameir Lefi Tyson, not Lefi Rashi.
Why?
Because Lefi Rashi everybody holds iser, Lefi Tyson Rameir.
That's because Rav Shimon has nothing to say according to Rashi. There's no Rav Shimon according to Rashi. You understand? There's only machlokas because you're using Rav Shimon.
Would hold, but so what?
We don't know what Rashi would say. Let me just show you how I see it. Okay, it's like this. In other words, it's very simple. I think. Okay, and in other words, in version 1, okay, what do you have in version 1 according to Rashi? What do you have in version 1 according to Rashi? You have Rameir and Rabbi Yehuda independent, right? Independent of each other, right? And then in the second version, you have Rameir holding Isser and Rabbi Yehuda holding both, right?
You need both or either or?
Either or.
Okay.
Thank you. Either or, right? And when he learns Divrei Hakol means this. Divrei Hakol means this. Okay? What does Toso say? Toso says there's Rav Shimon, right? And then there's Rameir and Yehuda.
No.
Yes.
We know Rav Shimon holds the das Lefi
Let me
Rashi.
just finish, okay? And then when we have Divrei Hakol, what do we say? This is the key thing. He wants to group together Rameir and Rabbi Yehuda. You understand? Not that they equal each other conceptually, but it's plus and plus. In other words, the machlokas ultimately comes down to that when it says, because remember, what was bothering Tosas initially? What does Divrei Hakol mean? Right? So Rashi's saying Divrei Hakol is Rameir and Rabbi Yehuda, right? That they're agreeing on something, right? Tosas is saying no. Tosas is saying Divrei Hakol means what? It means Rav Shimon and Rameir and Rabbi Yehuda. He wants to take Rav Shimon and put it underneath the umbrella of Divrei Hakol. If you took out all the concepts and just want to analyze it insofar as simply the position game, this is what it comes down to. Really, it's all it comes down to. Because what do they agree on? Let's understand what they agree on. It all comes down to is when it says Divrei Hakol, does that mean Rameir and Rabbi Yehuda, or does it mean that Rav Shimon and Rameir and
Seems like a
Yehuda?
fact based machlokas.
No, I'm saying if you took out the concepts. Now let's put the concepts in. Okay, what are we supposed to get out of this? Okay, this is the factual breakdown. Okay, but conceptually, what do you have to work on? Well, let's understand. One, you have to work. What's the first thing you have to work on?
Why?
No, what's the first thing you have to work on? I'm
What
going
does
to kill
Rashi
you.
ignore Rishon?
What?
What does Rashi ignore Rishon?
No. More basic. More basic. Forget Rashi and Tosfos. Just look at the positions here, because they agree at the end of the day.
How are they defining
No.
the Muktzeh?
What?
How are they defining the
No. Come on.
I don't know. What?
Rabbi Yehuda. Okay, Rabbi Yehuda. Why is it by Rabbi Yehuda? At first we say what by Rabbi Yehuda? First we say what? He only holds mias, right? Mias versus either or. That's one thing you have to define, right? What's another thing you have to define?
Meir holds
Havamina Maskana.
both or
Right?
one.
Right? Havamina Maskana Meir. Do you need both or one?
Both or one.
Right? And then what's the third thing to define?
There's no
Machlokas,
Havamina
Rashi,
Maskana.
Tosfos. I'm trying to show you how to approach this in the methodology way. First of all, let's put aside the fact that I have to spoon feed this all to you, which I understand. Trust me, this is not easy to do. It took me like a couple of days just to get this shot down because it's very difficult. With that said, especially since you all guys want to learn how to learn on your own, the difficulty in this is how to get through, what?
The last two questions.
Rameir Havini Maskana, and then Machlokas Rashi Tosfos. You have to learn how to get through the complexity and just be able to tease out the necessary points that they want you to define. Okay, that's not easy to do because you can get lost in the Shach of Itaria. It's easy to get lost in this. Is it not easy to get lost in this? Were you guys pretty lost?
Yeah.
I know you are, right? It's very, but you know these 2 points. You just don't want to admit it. You know these 2 points. You know that Rabbi Yehuda holds first mias alone and then he holds both. You know that.
Yes.
Okay. Why?
Why?
That's what you have to start thinking about. Okay? Why would you think it's only one? Why would you think it's both?
And I don't know the second.
Rameir initially says Rameir would require both things to coexist, meaning you need mias and Isser present in the
I don't even
Chatzah.
get that part.
You don't understand the why or factually?
What,
A ner shel cheres has ended 2 things when I light it. It's disgusting, and now it's usher for me to move it after it goes out in the Shabbos. Right? So you could argue that Rameir holds you need both. You need both those
how
things.
can you argue that he doesn't say both?
Because the fact it's a deduction. It doesn't. Let me ask you a question. If I see this falling down multiple times, what deduction do you make?
That it's going to fall.
Did it say to you it's going to fall? It didn't say I'm going to fall.
Person, it doesn't have a mouth that could speak.
This is not a person either.
It's a book. It's written down.
But they're deducing from something that's written. They're deducing it. It's a deduction. No. Let me ask you a question. If it says in Vegas that the Colts are favored over who are they playing?
Broncos.
The Broncos. If it says the Colts are favored over the Broncos by 14, right? What deduction would you make from that? You would make a deduction from that?
What would you make?
The Colts are more likely to win.
I have literally no idea.
But it's
I don't even know what sport you're talking about.
It doesn't matter what sport. In game X, where they say they're favored by a certain number of points to win. Like say, it's a huge amount of points. Okay,
Like,
forget
you like them better?
it.
Oh my god.
I can't.
If apples are red,
Okay.
the right side of the apple also red?
Let me ask you a question. Let's say, I'll give you a simple example. Let's say the iPhone 7 is coming out. Is that your territory?
Okay.
Okay. Now, and I tell you, that means that the iPhone 6 is going to be cheaper now.
Okay.
Right? Is that a reasonable deduction to make?
Yes.
Okay. Did they have to tell you openly, by the way, since the iPhone 7 is coming out, that means the iPhone 6 will be cheaper? No, you could deduce that. Okay. They're doing the same thing here. They're making deductions.
Why is that I don't understand. I don't understand.
Because why? The question is the Gemara repeats Rameir. It lists Rameir twice. So either you're going to say the Gemara likes repeating itself, or there's something, or there's something new to learn out from Rameir. Tosfos is telling us this is the new thing you can learn from Rameir.
That he holds both.
That he could have held, but he could have held
definitively
both.
what he held.
No, we know he only holds a one.
Then why would he? Okay.
That's what you have to explain. Why both? Why one?
Question.
Yes.
If you know he only holds one, then why would you deduce that he holds two?
Because logically
Because you know that he
because
holds
there's two logical. That's what you have to explain. I can't give you any more information. That's what you have to explain. That's as far as all about. It's saying it could hold both. One. How do I figure out why you would say both, and why does it make sense to say one? Why does each one make sense? That's your challenge. So these are the three things you're left to defining.
Wait,
You understand why I'm doing this way? These are the three things left to define.
Yeah.
This is it.
wait,
Yeah.
was the first memra from Amar Zera that said Hamati Aser Ledivrei Hamati Aser Ledivrei Aser Matir? Was that just not true? Like, you would say you couldn't have said that? Like,
It's saying it for a reason. It's saying to bring us out. It's saying it for one reason, to get this point across.
how does it get that point across?
That's it. That's his purpose.
How does it get that point across?
That we teach because that's what Rashi and Tosfos are telling you.
Why all you need is Amar Zera?
Oh no, because that's what Rav Zera said. Rav Zera made this cryptic statement. Okay, let's assume for now purposely. Okay, he's like a funny guy. He says something. And he said like a wink, wink. Don't you remember when we did Shia? When what was that guy? who was it, Rav Yochanan, whoever it was, who got up, they asked him a question, he said, I got to think about it. He got back to them, and he's like, and he said, da-da-da, lo shna. And everyone's like, what does lo shna mean? And there were two logical possibilities what lo shna meant. Similar here. There's something cryptic in what he's saying. Okay?
So, isn't all you need the last part, which is said what is it? Divrei.
No, because you'll never be able to use this.
Yeah, you can.
No, why?
Why is it Divrei Kol? I definitely remember who's in that Kol. And if you're saying Divrei Kol, Lo Adlik Love, if you say it's usher, if it's lit, that means that the Havamina, that would be
No,
the Muktzeh.
I don't know. You know what? Fine. Okay, great. But how's it going to help you define this?
How?
It won't. So now, what do you have to do? You have to define Rav Yehuda, Mias versus both. Rameir, Havamina, it won't. Rameir, Havamina, both. Maskana, only one. And then Machokas, Rashi, Tosos. That's your assignment. That's what you have to do. Please do not make me repeat these. I'm going to do it one more time tomorrow morning. I'm going to go through these facts again. Just quickly. Yaakov, quickly. All right? But this is what you need to define. Okay?
Cool.
Is that clear?
I'm saying, what was the function of the first part if you can get all from the second part?
That kind of.
You can't get all from the second part.
Can't you not?
No, because you need the bright. Because the bright set, the kasha from the Bryce and Rabbi Yehuda tells you that Rabbi Yehuda holds both. You wouldn't have thought that initially. You thought he holds one. Yeah.
Shall we start now?
Yes. I'm done. I got no energy left.
Yeah, shall we?